Chinese scientists are leaving the US in record numbers, and research cooperation between the US and China is on thin ice. Let's talk about why. This downward trend began in 2018 when Trump announced the Department of Justice's China Initiative. Its goals? To crack down on supposed Chinese intellectual property theft from the US's universities and research institutions. It wasn't long before the China Initiative ballooned to 2,000 active investigations that strayed from the stated goals. The FBI started going after Chinese scientists who made minor errors when filling out research grants. Agents stretched facts to build up cases. The China Initiative put 150 individuals on trial, indicted 24 of them, and surveilled thousands more. And in the end, most cases collapsed due to a lack of evidence. Professor Ming Hu at the University of Tennessee was one target. After a grueling investigation and arrest ultimately led to a mistrial, Professor Hu called out FBI misconduct, saying, "My basic human rights were invaded and my reputation was destroyed." In another case, Dr. Juan Tang, a cancer researcher at UC Davis, was arrested and separated from her family for a whole year. The China Initiative became infamous for FBI misconduct and encouraging anti-Asian racism. The initiative ended in 2022, but Chinese students, researchers, and professors still feel they're working in hostile environments. Based on a 2021 survey of almost 2,000 scientists across the country, 42% of Chinese scientists feel racially profiled by the US government, compared to 8.6% of non-Chinese scientists. Even those who haven't been directly investigated abandoned their research projects or switched departments to those that were less likely to be targeted. It's no wonder that many are leaving the US altogether. And on top of all this, Trump began restricting Chinese student visas, which Biden has continued doing. All this crackdown signals a larger shift. Scientific cooperation between the US and China is on edge. This August, the Science and Technology Agreement between the two countries, first signed in 1979, was up for renewal. Instead of renewing for 5 years as a standard, Biden opted for only a 6-month extension and declined new science initiatives. Even though past research cooperation has helped prevent pandemics, improved earthquake monitoring, and produced climate change research. Despite all the benefits, there's a bipartisan effort among the US government to undermine the exchange of knowledge out of suspicion that China will apply it to strengthen their military. A group of Republicans signed a letter urging Biden to flat out end the historic agreement. But the fixation isn't just on China's military. It's also about how rapidly China's economy has developed. The Science and Tech Agreement was established in 1979, back when China was just starting to industrialize and welcome US companies to operate factories there. Nowadays, China has made rapid progress towards its own high-tech industry and holds the most cited scientific papers in the world, including on cutting-edge topics like semiconductors and AI. There's a false narrative that the US is a victim here. A study from the University of Arizona showed that while cooperation boosted scientific research in both countries, the US actually benefited more significantly. While the Trump-era China Initiative ended, anti-China rhetoric and policies are escalating. Exchange of scientists and knowledge is now creeping to a halt. We've reached a fork in the road. War and competition, or peace and cooperation?